Yep.
you.
You know, there's one aspect of pedagogy which is not really that well known, and that I discovered actually on my when I was reading Kamdi Kalai, and I saw his introduction chapter on on how to sing, which notes to play for each of his poetry, and I was astounded. And I sent it to a person who studies music, and Gurmat Sangeet, and he says he had never seen something like this. So Surinder Ji, this part of Bhai Vir Singh Ji, Pidaji, of his deep knowledge of music,
Absolutely.
where is that, why is that not being studied? I mean, this gentleman who I sent it to, he said this chapter alone, I mean, with the annotation and what all was there, he said, I've never seen anything like this in my 15 years of study. So speak to that, please.
Yeah, absolutely. And before I speak on that, I just want to add what Nikki was saying. This important thing, though, is that in Gurbani, Nikki ji, the thing is the person who gets connected, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਜੁੜ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਨਾ, ਜਿਹੜੇ one who gets connected with the Akal Purakh, the knowledge फिर खुद ब खुद the knowledge just naturally enters your heart. I just want to make sure we all get it. So सुनिया दीप लो पाताल है जी, सुनिया तरतवल आकाश है. So he was connected. He was, and if you read Rana Surinder Singh, which we've all read, and especially Udari wala chapter or Utari wala chapter, when the angel, picks the Rajkor the hand and takes her to different khans. Looks like Paisab had been to all the khans and everything. I just want to stress a point here that people who get connected and people who become one with him, knowledge naturally, everything, physics there, metaphysics there, whatever it is, it comes. The gurus never went to any school, Kabir never went to any school, Guru Nanak Dev Ji never entered any music school, and he was the biggest musician of ever, Coming back to Bhai Vir Singh Ji, and I wish I was there when he was there in the body form, when I wish maybe his voice must have been so beautifully sung, jo aapne gaande hone jadon. But it's amazing one of the music depth. Let me just start off with saying how much he has written on this matter and his hold on this music by the chapter. He, there is a dictionary that he wrote on Shri Guru Granth Sahib Kosh, which is the dictionary. He actually made his grandfather's dictionary better. So उन्हें आपके कोश बढ़ाई उन्होंने Guru Granth Sahib Maharaj ji. And towards the end of that, and you can even look it up yourself later on, there is a whole almost 100 pages written on music. How is Gurmat Sangeet different than us? What is music? What is the connection between spirituality and music? And then he has a big commentary on Ragmala. He goes in, I have never seen this depth anywhere, even from musicologists, I have never seen that. And I have been learning music since very young age in Bengal, got introduced to Rabindra Sangeet at a very, very, very early age. He talks about different Shiv Mat da Ragmala kedi hai, Hanuman Mat di kedi hai, and how is our different Ragmala is there. Then the best article I think he has ever written on music is one that is published in Khalsa Track Society and Khalsa Samachar also is an article called Ragan Shabad da Pav te Rag di Tasir, which if anybody wants to read it, I have a PDF copy of that, whereby he connects he has diagrams in that. He draws a diagram between what is Naad, what is Anahat Naad, what is Shabad, how does Shabad connects with Anahat Naad. And I can relate to it more because I teach and I learn. I'm a student and a teacher, both of music since a very early age. I understand the rags, how the feelings is, and what difference between Dev, Gandhari, and Shri and Kalyan and stuff, and I could relate to it much more than probably other people will be able to relate to it. And if that is not enough, if you really want to understand what Kirtan is, and even to this date, when I have to define what Kirtan is, I go to Bhai Chandaji's Saki in Guru Nanak Chamatkar, where Paisa really defines when there's a conversation that takes place between Paitan Chandaji, Indra Sen, Guru Nanak Dev Ji, and Mardana, all four of them. Sometimes two of them together, sometimes all four together, on what is Kirtan and what is Raag. What is Raag must? What is Kirtan must? What is just being involved in music? What happens to that music when Shabad comes in? His knowledge about music, his pakad on music, and he brings that everywhere. There is a chapter in, I remember, in Kalgidhar Chamatkar, whereby this Vaishnavi sadhu visits from Ujjain, who goes to, he has a certain picture of a fakir, of a guru. He thinks that kapde paaye hone dusre mele baithe hone kidre fakiran di, and when he sees the Kalgidhar Pita on a horse, और लगाई हुई कलगी तो शिकार तो वापस आए and when he sees him doing kirtan the next day in Yasadewar, and how beautifully that chapter will bring tears to your eyes when you read it. Mentions the Shabad, the Raag, and and I believe personally, though you cannot connect it with the Shabad unless you know the musical aspect. And in that article of the Shabad de Pav, the Raag di Tasir, which he explains that how certain Shabads found themselves in Shri, how certain Shabads were found itself under Dev Gandhari and not under Kalyan, but under Bihagada, and his depth of understanding, and more than Didi, his depth of understanding, his connectivity to Akal Purkh, he was a connected soul. And if you read, especially on the music, Bhai Chandaji di Saki, and also the Jede Khand Jede Hand Jede, how the music, and look at the chapter in Rana Suraj Singh, especially Udari wale chapter the, when the lady reaches the Taram Gyan Khand and the bachari puchti hai कि पहुंच गए हैं सचखंड, तो कहते नहीं, कहते इतना celestial music है, this is not सचखंड, कहते नहीं है ज्ञान खंडी वाले सचखंड नहीं है। तो मैं की कवा होना बारे दीदी की कह सकता ਇਹ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਕੀ ਕਵੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਬਾਰੇ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਮਿਊਜ਼ਿਕ ਦੀ ਡੈਪਥ ਬਾਰੇ, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਪੜ੍ਹਦੇ ਹਨ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਹੈ। ਔਰ ਹਰ ਚੈਪਟਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੀ ਮਿਊਜ਼ਿਕ ਦੇ ਐਸਪੈਕਟ ਆਏਗਾ, ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਚਮਤਕਾਰ, ਕਲਗੀਧਰ ਚਮਤਕਾਰ, whichever chapter you read.